All right, guys, welcome back to the FPL One Percenters Podcast. We join you for another game week. We have just gone and had the City game. We were all expecting big points from our captains, from our players, and it's all sort of, as the dust settles, we want to jump on because there's another deadline coming quite soon. This week, I'm joined by Hammer. How are you?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Not the best day, but can't complain.
Brilliant, man. Listen, we bring you this content every week and we're brought to you by Footsapp. So before we go any further, we'd like to give them a shout out. Please check them out when you're back on the pitch for organizing football sessions. It's a fantastic grassroots football app. It's kind of like fantasy football, but with your mates. So definitely check them out. Link in the description down below. Like, subscribe, and comment. We'd really appreciate it. And also, we have a Telegram group. So the links for that in the bio as well, where we sort of discuss team lineups and stuff that's going on during the week. So check it out. Hammer, how's it going, man? We were waiting, we were holding our breath for this final day to maybe save our game weeks or boost us up a little bit. I know Hash was going from 98 and praying to go towards like 100 points, whereas I was sort of hovering around the 80-point mark.
Yeah. No, I think I finished at 88, and I'm going to get a -1 off the bench, so that's 87.
Where have we got? Dallas?
Yeah, I had Dallas on the bench, and it's
see.
Yeah, with Calvert-Lewin missing both games and Antonio not playing,
Yeah.
It started off so well and then just ended with a whimper.
Yeah, it started really well as well with City performing. City beat Spurs. The thing is that I went. Who did you go captain?
Gundogan.
Yeah, okay. You went Gundogan. I messaged you very late on a Friday night to ask you what you guys were thinking about captaincy wise, and I got pitched. Like I pitched myself to go for Sterling. And you would wonder why, because of what the previous game, and Gundogan was on fire, so there's no reason not to. But I think when you're chasing rank and when you're kind of like feel like you have ground to make up, you kind of chase these points. And in your mind, Sterling has already scored a hat trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's also history, right? It's also the reputation. Yeah. Like you don't see Gundogan as a goal scorer in your head, but you see Sterling as somebody who could score a hat trick.
Yeah, but even if you watched the City game versus Spurs, you didn't hear his name much, and especially as someone who owns him, you're listening out for his name, or you're waiting to see if he gets on the ball. Sterling, that is, and he didn't that much actually.
Yeah, he's playing. I think the game's changed. Like you watch City's game, their whole system's changed. And what he used to do before was Sterling would be sort of like the off striker, right, playing with Aguero or KDB, and now it's Gundogan who's doing that, and Bernardo Silva who are sort of playing that role. So it's changed completely, and he's not what he used to be.
Yeah, Bernardo came up with a few big points. If you had gone for him as a differential for the double game, we could have been laughing, actually.
Yeah, and I suggested him 2 weeks in a
row. I know you did.
Once.
You gave him a shout. And also, I remember you mentioned last week that he's not even on the list of XGI players. So you know what? Yeah, no. So that's a win for you, I guess. Except as in you didn't sign him, but I have him on my draft team. I don't know if that's. I don't know. We don't speak about draft on here, but.
I have him and Gundogan, so I'm happy there.
No, I was just stacked up on City on that one. But anyways, we digress. Liverpool, what a game. You got rewarded because the first 60 minutes of that was so dull. Salah got his goal. So that was that. But you know what? If you had sold, it's a tale like, double game weeks are so tricky because it's a tale of like backing yourself and the team that you've built versus like chasing those quick wins, right? Like chasing the quick wins with Pope, with Burnley defenders, switching to like more City attackers. Whereas if you had stuck, like for example, now that we mentioned Pope, if you had stuck with Martinez got 12, Pope's got 10, right, in the one game. So sometimes you have to back yourself.
Yeah, it depends on the players and it depends on how many minuses you're taking, right? So like for me, initially I had Chilwell. I wasn't going to take the -4, but then I thought with Peters playing twice. As well, and he played once, but Chilwell didn't play at all, so it worked out. Chilwell gets a 6, and you're sitting there thinking, well, it doesn't make a difference. But sometimes you have to take that risk, and you just have to hope it pays off. Just don't go taking a -12.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't got there yet. Somehow I'm chasing a lot more points, and I'm taking a lot more minuses this year than I ever have in the past as well. It's a strange old season. I think it's because there's a lot been changing as well.
Yeah, a lot of doubles and stuff too, right? So.
Yeah, to keep in mind, blanks as well. West Ham keep rolling on. I have some cover there with Soufal. They're looking like the real deal, really. Antonio not playing probably hurt some managers, but I guess they're being better safe than sorry with him, right?
Yeah, and Lingard's looking good too there. So.
As if he wanted to take the penalty, though.
Yeah.
Like,
But Declan, I think,
relax, son.
yeah, Moy is this clarified. It's Declan Rice or Mark Noble, nobody else.
Okay, fair. And for those that stacked up finally on DCL, like hoping he would play the one game, he didn't play either. But this is classic lesson in probably just not jumping on double game week players just for the sake of having a double game week player, right?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
you could have maybe sold off Madison for someone like Rodriguez or one of the one of the Everton midfielders, and Madison came up with 8-9 points as well.
yeah. I think the lesson here, instead
Mm.
of jumping on the players, is wait for the deadline, right?
Yeah,
'Cause if you
yeah,
had waited, you'd have known DCL was injured, and you
yeah,
wouldn't pick him
yeah,
up. Right? If you
yeah,
pick,
yeah,
if you already had him, that's different, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Richarlison finally scored for me, so he can leave my team on a high.
yeah. Now he's done.
And now it's done. Kind of bounced in off him as well,
Yeah,
which was quite entertaining.
there is one team that I do want to
Yeah,
mention, and that's
yeah. Go on
Arsenal,
then.
right? And
Okay.
that's Arsenal, all right. With as in I had Obama Yang 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Thought that he's starting his revival. Then he went
yeah,
off on personal leave, came back, and he
yeah.
gets I think it was a hat trick
Yeah, he got a hat trick, and I think he
against
scored
Leeds.
last week as well. No.
No, I don't think he played last week. I think
Okay.
he came on as a sub or something, and Lacazette started.
I
But
see.
this time Lacazette hit the bench. Obama Yang started, scored a hat trick. And I honestly think if
Crazy.
he continues to play in that position,
Hmm.
it would be a sneaky pick going forward. But at 11, I think it's 11.1 or 11.2 million.
Yeah, that's a bit
It's
tricky.
a bit tough to bring him in. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I'd just like to just say that my boy is back, Kevin De Bruyne, and maybe that's a sign of the change in fortunes. So I was thrilled to see him coming off the bench. I was like, yes, big man is back. And then I saw Sterling go off, and I'm like, oh,
That's it.
that's it. But there's a lot more football to go, and let's look at the fixtures, man. What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's see what doubles are coming up.
Shout out! I think this is still the Lego Mane updated template that we're using. So shout out to him for this template. And there's a lot going on. So coming up to game week 25, I think we'll go there first because that's easier to run through. Standard game week with two teams playing twice. Southampton play Chelsea and Leeds play Wolves and Southampton, basically, right? So
Yeah,
any Leeds players are there at a premium. Most of us holding Bamford. I'm holding Bamford. Rafinha, what about yourself?
yeah. I actually at the moment I only have Dallas, but I'm thinking
Okay,
of bringing Bamford for one of Antonio or DCL, and
nice.
they have good fixtures going all the way up to 29, and they play again in 29. So
Yeah,
it's worth holding on to them because you're not going to have
yeah.
them. Yeah.
I think if you're not holding a wild card or a free hit, especially a free hit for 29, which a lot of us aren't,
Hmm.
and doubly so if you don't have the wild card, just keep an eye on those teams that are playing in 29 as well, right? So Leeds is a classic example that if you have a 2 or 3 Leeds, you're good to hold them through these next few fixtures because that way then you can plan for your team in 29 as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But after that, nothing is set in stone, which is a bit annoying, right? For
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, even if
What's the
so, I know
latest?
most people who will be watching this will be looking at the brown ones and saying it's very likely, but
Hmm.
there's so much confusion there too. Like
Yeah,
I mentioned before, we got
yeah,
on here. Um, Manchester City have a game against West Ham, Wolves, or Southampton, and
yeah,
if you look at the Southampton fixtures, they aren't very likely. The same goes with if you look at the Wolves fixtures. So
yeah,
there's always a chance that those games don't happen. And then if you look at Aston Villa, Spurs, Everton, they have a very likely in Game Week 26, but they also have a potential in Game Week 27. At the moment, it's unlikely,
yeah,
but there's always that potential. So I would wait to see what happens.
yeah,
But overall, what I'm thinking is, and this is based on my team, is you're not going to harm yourself if you pick up players or you plan to pick up players from Everton or Spurs or Villa because you know the double game week's coming up,
yeah. Yeah,
right? So you
because
want
like
to look
they
for
have
it.
games to make up either way, right? Spurs have games to make up because they haven't played as much. City still have games to make up,
Yeah,
and Villa have plenty as well, right?
yeah,
Like if
and
you look at this table, there's a possibility that Villa could play 3 double game weeks on the bounce, basically, right? Is it
no. So the double games are the same. So it's Everton and Sheffield United, and then
okay?
again, if you look at 27, it's Everton, Sheffield United, and then
Okay, so
again,
they could play in 26-2, 27-2, and 28-1,
yeah,
and
it could,
29 though as well.
yeah. So like, if you look at their fixtures, they're really
Yeah,
good. Like you look at Villa, they play Leeds, and then sorry, Leicester, Leeds, then one
yeah,
of Everton or Sheffield United, Wolves, and Newcastle. Like those are solid fixtures.
Those
the
are
same
good
with the
fixtures.
Spurs, right? Where the West Ham, Burnley, Fulham, Southampton, Crystal Palace. Like, as bad as they may have looked.
Yeah. True. The Spurs, the Spurs, right?
Yeah, Spurs.
Yeah, they are quite shocking, to be honest. Like that whole dropping a City defensive asset for an attacking asset was thinking that, they'll concede against Spurs, but funnily enough, they kept the clean sheet against Spurs and conceded against Everton because they're just so shocking going forward. But hopefully there's an upturn in form for them. But it's interesting. I guess some of these teams have more places where the fixtures can fit, right? So we don't know because they don't play in Europe. Whereas like the bigger teams playing in Europe, you can't. There's less opportunity for their fixtures to be fitted in, right?
Yeah, and that goes for City too, right? That's why you don't see them in Gameweek 28.
Yeah,
you only see them in 26 and 27. But I think it's sort of solidified. There's going to be one of 26 or 27, and 28 is sort of the buffer. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, Spurs can. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say I'm hoping it falls in 26 so that we have enough time to plan for 29.
Yeah, I know.
27 or 28, then you're stuck having to make multiple transfers to get people out.
Yeah, not that that's been a problem for me this year. We move. Also, Spurs can only get a double. I'm just reading in the bottom left. The Spurs can only get a double in 27 or 28 if Wolfsburg knocked them out of the Europa League. Okay, interesting to know. So you keep one eye on Thursday nights. Unfortunately, me and you as United fans have to be alert on Thursday nights as well.
Yeah.
Such is life.
The thing we should mention is the Gameweek 29 blanks. Those are confirmed. So 29 is confirmed blank.
So anything in red, so Southampton, all of these teams are not playing in 29, right? Basically.
Exactly, yeah, the 29 is confirmed blank. So those are the only teams playing in Gameweek 29. So you can already start planning for that if you need to.
Mad. And the green, the Tottenham and Villa fixture might come into 29 as well.
Yeah, it's expected, but
it makes me regret playing my free hit in 19 actually. 18 rather. Well, I mean, it's one of those where it's handy at any point in the season, right?
Yeah. I think we at that time we didn't. I think it was City fixture that got rescheduled in Gameweek 19. So based on that, like I don't think the free hit was supposed to be that easy.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens this time.
It's kind of being a bit easier, but it should be fun. It makes it a little more entertaining.
Yeah.
So Haas is not here, but he sent us some stats, right?
Yeah, on the XGI, I think that's going to be interesting again.
See
who else made it up the table.
I know, right? Do you want to give another Bernardo Silva type shout out before we go to the next?
Yeah, I'm actually.
Who impressed you this week?
Who impressed me?
Yeah.
Well, I have to go back to Aubameyang, right? Like he played really well, but the guy that I want to see is Grealish.
Yeah.
And
see what his story is.
Tells me he's not here either.
So this is similar to what has been doing over the last couple of weeks. Basically, XGI, expected goal involvement, is the expected goals plus assists, and it's sorted by that, as well as looking at minutes per chance for these players. So right at the top we have Gundogan, who was top last week or close to the top as well, and you have to back the numbers at this point, right?
Yeah, you have to. Like, he's been on form, right? So
yeah. And this is last 6 weeks. Doesn't include today's games as well, and minimum 250 minutes played. Vardy came back with a bang as well, but I mean, he got gifted a bit of a chance, to be honest, against Liverpool, no?
Yeah, and this is surprising, right? So Antonio didn't play last game, right? Vardy hasn't played in a few games, but you see he's still up there.
Right? That's true, to be fair. That is true. It just shows that how good they are, basically, then.
Yeah, it shows that they're getting the chances. I think Vardy, and the one thing I read somewhere was his conversion rate when he's playing at home is high, but if he's playing away from home, his conversion rate really low. Right?
Really?
So you have to watch for the fixtures. I'm actually getting confused whether it's.
No, I think it was the other way around.
Yeah.
But there was something. There was something. I know, because I was a Vardy owner for quite a while, and he's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Very frustrating to own. Sterling's quite high up there in terms of minutes per expected goal involvement, but that's, I guess, just a testament to the way City play. And Salah's just proving that he's sort of a must-have. I don't know.
This is the last 6 games, right? So look, Sterling has 6 returns in 6 games. Salah has 4 returns in 6 games. That's not bad at all, right? Like, he might not be the guy scoring the hat-tricks every single week.
Yeah.
But if he's getting a return every game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it might not represent value for money, but it does represent value.
Yeah.
Like his points per million would be quite low, but at least you can get the return, right? And he's always that explosive asset, which I think we've always said. I feel like we come back around to this. Shall we drop Salah? Is it time to drop Salah? But you know what?
No. I think with Salah, it's that ceiling, right? Where he can score your hat trick.
Yeah, exactly. Then you
You
see
don't want to
Lamar
miss
and
that.
anyone who doesn't.
Yeah, I think in other sports we call it the exciting player, right?
Mm,
You don't want a guy who can score you a goal a game. You want the guy who
yeah,
can score you 3 goals a game.
yeah,
Right?
that's
You
true.
want that excitement.
Yeah, that is true. It makes it a lot more fun to watch. It's the same reason that when I was deciding which City defender to drop
Yeah,
between Cancelo and Stones, both are rotation risks, but you go with the guy who is like a bit more exciting to watch, a bit more attacking potential as well, right?
yeah. And I guess you can
And
say that Cancelo, but Stones is the guy that scored the 2 goals last over game
you
week.
know what? Never mind, man. Oh man, it's. I was waiting for something similar this week as well, just a dagger to my heart. But
Yeah, well,
these
that
were good.
happened. It almost happened in the first minute when Cancelo took a shot on
I
Pickford and
saw, yeah,
saved it.
I saw that as well, and I was like, oh, Pickford's actually making. He didn't save anything else after that, though.
No,
But he made sure to save on Cancelo.
yeah, just on Cancelo.
I think he dropped Cancelo this week as well, so he was making sure.
No.
But anyone else surprising you there?
I don't see any surprises per se. Like I know Trossard is there; he looks good. So
Yeah,
Brighton look good overall, but don't
yeah.
expect much in return. Like they're creating
And
chances, but they're not putting much away.
yeah, but then again, like, okay, fine, you look at this, right, and you see someone like Trossard there, but would you generally back someone like Trossard over Rafinha, like a player like Rafinha? I wouldn't. Like, there's so many options in that price bracket, like Suchek, um, Rafinha, Saka as well, just underneath. But I'm just a big fan of Rafinha's, I think, personally.
Yeah, I think long term, if you're looking
Mm.
at it just for the double game week, you rather have Rafinha mainly because he plays 2 games.
Yeah,
Then you always come back to he might play 2 games, but will
yeah,
he do better? And you don't know,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
it comes back down to sustainability, right? So
yeah,
if Trossard's getting more chances, there's a
yeah.
good chance long term he'll get you more points,
True,
right? It's just
true.
he's more sustainable because he's involved more,
Yeah,
right? And
that's true.
yeah, the sneaky pick in this
Yeah,
list is Timo Werner, right?
yes,
In Chelsea's revival, I know people are down on Werner before Tuchel came in.
yeah,
I'd really be considering him if you're going for like a Harry Kane at
yeah.
a high price bracket. Maybe Timo Werner is a better option.
You know what? He is. Fun fact for you, by the way. No players hit the post more this season than Timo Werner. 5 times he's hit the post, and actually, no, 5 times he's hit the post, tied with Trossard with 5 as well. So that's a little fun fact for you.
Yeah, too bad we don't get points for that.
I know, unfortunately not. But yeah, he looks a shout actually, and he's passing the eye test as well a little bit more. Looks a bit more confident as well. But there's so many options in the middle that you know what, for you to spend your money up front, it needs to like be some sort of sacrifice because you're going to want Salah, you're going to want KDB or Sterling or someone from City. You're going to have Gundogan, you're going to want Son. Like you're going to want to cover all these different bases. You're going to want Bruno. So
Yeah.
even fine, you're making space with a 1.5 million asset, whether that be Rafinha, Suchek, Trossard, Saka, like that's fine. But then you're putting a lot of your funds in the middle. So
Yeah, I still come back to that. So I know we're not hyping up KDB again because he's back,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
I still come back to Bernardo
we
Silva,
are. Yeah,
right? 11 games in a row he started, and KDB played most of those 11 games, right?
that's
So
true. He did.
yeah, so Bernardo Silva and Gundogan seem like the guys that Pep's relying on to lead
Yeah,
this sort of change.
yeah,
So if I'm looking at a City player and KDB at his price, I'm looking at Bernardo Silva, right?
yeah.
So if you're
Sure.
going to double up, those are the 2 guys I'm going for: is Gundogan and Bernardo Silva.
What's your thoughts on the? I think we discussed this in Telegram. The double up, attacking double up versus defensive double up. I know we were back in the defensive double up big time. A lot of people were, a lot of people did, and it paid off massively as well with like Diaz and Stones, Cancelo Stones. What are your thoughts going forward for the next few weeks? If someone
Um,
wants 3 City, or if we are thinking 3 City, so I've got Sterling, Gundogan, and Cancelo at the moment.
yeah, I'm thinking of going with Ederson because
Okay,
he's not a rotation risk. So I'm
nice,
actually thinking going 2 defense with City. So Ederson,
nice.
Cancelo, and Gundogan. only because there's so many other midfield options that I don't want to bank everything on City. Right? If they score one goal, or if they score two goals, there's a 50-50, not even a 50% chance that it's Bernardo Silva or Gundogan.
Yeah, or Mahrez or Foden. Like, there's a lot more
risk.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot more risk.
I rather go and spend that extra cash on another player, right? And hope that player in his game can get me some points.
That does make sense, to be honest. That does make a lot of sense. But speaking of which, anything else to add on XGI, or should we sort of look ahead to next week?
No, this tells you who to target, at least for the double game week. And if you have them in your team, don't feel bad if you didn't get a return this week. I think as Has says, plan for 4 or 5 weeks, not for 1 week.
Yeah, 100%. No, that makes sense. And like what Has also says, we give you the stats, have a look, and sort of make your own decisions. But these are the numbers, and it's worked really well for him. He's still sitting within the top 30, 40K as well this year. So really wrapping the 1% flag to the max, which is great. And we will move on to sort of looking ahead to this week's fixtures. The polite double, the double before the double, the calm before the storm, whatever we want to call it. But what are you thinking of this game week? I'm going Dallas. I have one free transfer. I'm probably gonna shift Reece James finally, and go to Stuart Dallas, because he's playing in an inside the channel in the midfield. He's not even on the wing, like as a wing back or anything. He's playing inside the channel, so he's very involved in everything good they do. And it's and another one where it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's playing two teams that can't seem to score right now, Wolves and Southampton. So you want him in your team 100%.
Yeah. Historical bias would say, Wolves will keep a clean sheet, but they've not been as reliable recently either.
Yeah. Don't trust Leeds to keep a clean sheet 100%.
No chance. No, they give up the most chance. Like, if we were looking at those defensive stats, I think last week they give up a lot of chances. So it's more you're bringing him in for the 4 banked points, and then potentially any attacking returns that they get.
Yeah, like I wouldn't go for Southampton this week. They don't look good.
Yeah.
And in terms of Leeds, I think everyone is going to go Bamford and Rafinha. But if you want to diversify, you can look at Harrison and Click. They both look really good too.
Yeah, Harrison scored in a couple of games on the bounce, actually.
Yeah, he has. And
so he's been
in terms of captain choices, I think Bamford's a good option, but I can't look past Bruno Fernandes for United against Newcastle.
Yeah,
that for me is the game. Although Liverpool-Everton, after Liverpool's performance in that being a derby, you're looking at Salah maybe in that game. But I feel
like this would be one of those weeks that maybe if you don't captain Salah, you'll turn around and say, "Why don't I always captain Salah?" Kind of.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It could make you regret it. And you know what? You don't know which United is going to turn out. Like, it was so dire against. Let's have 2 minutes to just a minute to just rant about that West Brom game.
It's been the same for the last 5 weeks. Every time I want to captain Bruno, I'm like, United just looks so bad.
It's so painful, to be honest. And but the goal just highlights how good he is and how good of an FPL asset he is, though, because there was nothing on. It was behind him as well. Great finish.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It reminded me of Zidane in the UEFA Champions League final. Right? That's the thing. Like, if someone's going to do something in that game, it's Bruno.
Yeah, you would hope so. You would hope so, at least. Yeah. In terms of chip strategies, what are we thinking? You're not holding a free hit. You're holding a second wild card, right?
Yeah.
And your bench boost and stuff.
I have my wild card and bench boost. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Any thoughts? I mean, if you're not holding a wild card, you just have to be a lot more careful. If you're not holding a wild card and you have a free hit, the obvious thing is play a free hit in 29 and just build towards a team that sort of works for you across these doubles, right? But think about every transfer, wait till the deadlines. Something like bringing in DCL a bit too early, that would have been a bit of a wound if you don't have a wild card to fix it in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it's going to be tough because, like you said, the fixtures aren't 100% confirmed yet. And even if they were, we don't have time, right? Like, it's already game 25, doubles in 26, so you have one free transfer. So a lot of people, including me, are thinking wildcard in Game Week 25, 426, right? So you have enough players for if you have about 8 or 9 double games in there.
Yeah,
then we'll go with that. But it depends on who you already have. If you already have a team of 11 playing double game weeks, then you don't need your wildcard. So bench boost for me is the most overrated chip. You could use it in your when you used it in during the double game week, and it might not give you anything. So you're looking at it when maybe your bench has good fixtures. For bench boosters, use it whenever you think your bench is good. Wildcard after game week 29.
Sorry, your wildcard after game week 29. You're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now, and that's again based on our discussion before the podcast. But it's going to be tough. It all depends on how your team looks going into 26. Right?
Yeah, exactly, and it's a team-based decision. The thing with bench boost, I would say, is that if you have a non-playing keeper right now, if you have someone like Tyreek Mitchell who probably may or may not play, then it obviously makes sense that don't make too many moves to fit in those players. But straight after your wild card, the week after, or a couple of weeks after, build your team around the view that I want to play a bench boost in a couple of weeks, and that's the best thing. One more thing to keep in mind is that if you wildcard in just like the week before game week 26, you can also play your bench boost, right? So if you do want to bench boost in 26, you have to wildcard this week, now basically. So when you're watching this video, if you want to play bench boost in 26, click the wildcard button now or not, up to you. But it really does depend on what your team setup is. So have a look at who you'll have playing doubles in the next couple of weeks and then go from there, right?
Yeah, I think the one chip I forgot here was a triple captain. If you still have your triple captain, then the double game weeks are interesting. I think with City playing West Ham or Wolves or Southampton, I think that's a good one to target. And besides that, there aren't many other teams that are playing doubles that you'd look at.
Yeah. No, you know my rule with triple captain, though, right?
Wait till the end.
Game week 38, man. Just everyone tends to go wild. You could get 3 points out of it, but
make this first place because you have the triple captain.
I know, right? So it could be fun. Just like a shout out to Yusuf, the guy who won the whole of FPL a couple of years ago. We had an interview with him, and he played his triple captain, right? That sealed the title for him in game week 38. I think it was a Salah triple captain game week 38. So I'm taking inspiration from that. But I think we've gone over, Hammer. We're planning on doing a short one today.
Yeah, I don't think it will work with us.
But you know what? It's been fun. Thank you. If you tuned in, thank you. If you stuck around till the end, we appreciate it as well. And always, leave comments, subscribe. Anything else, Hammer? Anything to add?
No, just good luck and hope you make
good luck. It's going to be a fun few weeks of football, to be honest. There's going to be plenty going on. With my obsession with FPL, I didn't even realize the Champions League was on this week. But that's been fun as well, just to add to all the drama. And so keep an eye on that for injuries as well. Don't rush into anything too soon.
It's not because of the FPL, it's because United is not there.
You know what? We'll leave that for another day. All right. Been a pleasure. Good luck, man.